It is 2025 here in-game. Fernando Alonso, that gets win number 33. What the whoa? What's happening? What was that? Our teammates just brake checked us.
Okay, some information on Norris. They seem to have an issue.
But we are going to get that overtake and get up into first
Hey, mate,
place.
that's Lando behind. They're faster than you, mate. They're faster than you, so let them through, please.
What?
They're faster than you. They're faster than you, so let them...
Oh my God. Do we go to the right? Alonso! Alonso spun us! Oh God, championship rivals have made contact. But look at the overspeed with ERS, DRS. We get ahead into first. And with Alonso creeping back up into the top 5, this is a crucial win that we absolutely have to aim
Okay,
for.
mate, and that's Lando
What?
behind. They're faster than you, mate. They're faster than you, so let them through, please.
No! No! Not again! Not again, Mark! Not again, McLaren! I refuse! I absolutely refuse! What are you on about? What are you on about? For the second time this season, we've overtaken our teammate and then get given a team order to give him the position back. Now with DRS down this small straight, it's not usually a place you see many overtakes, but Alonso has barged his way through. Bit of contact made for the first time in the season, as it maybe gets a little bit too close for comfort between myself and Alonso. We dive back down the inside. We return the favour. Position as he goes for the kamikaze dive. Fernando Alonso! Oh my word! What a move that is!
We're looking at some imminent gearbox issues, I'm afraid. Watch out for jams and misgears.
The gearbox is gone, the car's gone, and McLaren, I'm going to be gone. Here in Sao Paulo, it's been a very topsy-turvy race weekend, but we end it in the best way possible. We've won!
Are you not entertained?
Oh, we needed that. We needed that as we go to 5 little red lights to get us underway for the final race of the season. Lights out and underway we go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it's an electric start for us. It's probably the best start we've got all season long. It's going to be the wheel-to-wheel battle between championship rivals that you always want to see in the final race. As Alonso comes back at us once again, we try and outbrake him, but we've gone deep. Alonso with the switch from right to left, and he's done us. He's fully done us. Hit in now, and I want to go for a 2-stop. We've now got the hurry up from our engineer Mark to go and overtake Stroll, and that is just going to give us a little bit of motivation to get the job done, and we're going to absolutely send it. It's a send and a half to make a double overtake, as Alonso's held up in the pits. He's in, the leaders are in. It all comes down to this: will there be a triple world champion crown today, or a brand new F1 world champion? The reigning one going for a move for the win of this race. Meanwhile, we're looking back and Alonso is soaring through. DRS wide open. Can we come back at him? We're going to go wheel to wheel, clout the curb, give Alonso the room this time, and make sure that there's no funny business, no contact on the last lap here. But look at where Alonso is. He's pushing us down this straight. We're down to single digits, 2% on the battery. Perez! Perez! Sergio Perez has come in for the move, and so we can calmly come through the final corners and come across the line as a brand new F1 World Champion.
Oh man, that's it. It's all over, and you are the world champion. What a drive, what a season. Well done.
It has been 19 days since the dust started to settle from that Season 2 finale, and after a much needed little break and mini hiatus to go off on some other alternative Formula 1 experiences, many involving a shed, we are back here with F1 24 Career Mode, and we have got a contract event to go through as we go into the winter break over into Season 3. A big year in-game, as it will be 2026. 2026. It's a big year in Formula 1 in real life, and I'm hoping it's going to be a big year here in the game to mix things up, to have a little bit of a refresh and re-engage with this career mode series. And we will be taking on Season 3 with the F1 24 Plus mod with the improved AI and racing mod by Kolar F1. Links down below to the showcase video I did, and also a link to go get it. But yeah, hopefully, in short, using this mod is going to vastly improve the AI, wheel-to-wheel racing, and generally try and get us back to some of the racing we used to have on the previous F1 games. And so with that, it's time to actually dive into this contract event then, and we are met with a choice of only 4 teams to pick from into Season 3. We've obviously got Aston Martin on the left there, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari. We were almost maybe tempted by Ferrari in Season 1, remember? Fred Vasseur actually visited us. Mercedes actually came to us initially in like episode 4 of the entire career mode, and we battered them away because at the time, Mercedes were absolutely not the vibe, but maybe now things might be different. Of course, I am definitely not staying with McLaren. I've made that absolutely clear that I am leaving the team as the reigning world champion. And Aston Martin, well, they were the rivals of our Season 2 with Fernando Alonso. Now, I'll let you into a bit of a secret. I really wanted to pick what is here known as Kick Sauber right now, but obviously in 2026, they will be becoming Audi. I really fancied taking on a monumental challenge and trying to take up Audi from, as you can see, the worst team on the grid right now is Kick Sauber up to the top, but unfortunately, the career mode really is quite limited with options. I don't really agree with the way the contract system works with, you know, having limited options as a world champion. I feel like as a world champion, you could literally walk into any team, like quite literally. Obviously, Red Bull, they've actually gone ahead and denied the opportunity to join them because I guess they just got pissed off that we messed them around, you know. Christian Horner visited us, you know, we almost put pen to paper with Red Bull and then said no to leave our options open, but Horner and Red Bull did not like that, and they have decided to go a different way already. So my options are quite limited actually when you look at it. But I think basing off what I've seen in Season 2, the vibe also from real life, and in 2026, you know, big regulation change, engine regulation change, and one team stands out as being quite good at getting an engine off the ground in a new set of regulations, and that is Mercedes. I also think this is probably going to give us the most interesting set of driver transfers from the game itself, because as I've said before, but I'll say it again in case you missed it, on this year's game we no longer have any tools to mod driver transfers, so I can't make up the best story possible for the new season. We have to go off the incredibly boring transfers that the game is giving myself and others. You know, I've tried different combinations of different teams, and going with Mercedes I think is going to give us the most interesting new season and story as we leave McLaren as the reigning world champion and having won back-to-back Constructors World Championships with them going into a brand new season 2026. This is what the new calendar looks like. We will start the season in a fan favorite of the Australian Grand Prix before going to Japan and then starting a very early European portion of the season. Imola, Monaco, Canada, Spain, Austria, Great Britain, and then we reach the halfway mark, a little bit of a breather, and then we go straight on to Spa, Monza, Baku, and then to flyaway Singapore, Brazil, Portugal, which was a real decent addition to the calendar last season, I feel. Qatar comes back in, and we end at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for round number 16. And because we're tackling those 16 rounds with a new team, that requires a new helmet design for the upcoming season. It is still based off my original aarava design that I've had now for a couple of years, but those of you who've been with me for a while, I'm talking like F1 2018, 2019 days at least, you'll recognize the top of the helmet as I actually found my old design file profiles for my old helmet back in those days, and I fancied bringing it back. So the top of the design of the helmet is a design I used to run a lot on F1 2018 and even 2017, I think, all the way back to there. Of course, we've now got the Mercedes sponsors all over the helmet. The Mercedes logo looking very bold indeed at the top. Petronas across the visor strip. And if you're eagle-eyed enough, you may have also noticed a little nod to my favorite driver, Jenson Button, as we've incorporated some lovely dragon stenciling that was a feature of his racing helmet in Formula 1 on the side to the back. All together with also the turquoise little lines and hits, I think creates a very unique looking new helmet, which is actually, when you look closer, still based off my original design, but it's also so different in other places that it gives it a real nice refresh, and I think a real big new vibe for the Mercedes era of our career here. And that new Mercedes career is going to be alongside a 90 rated George Russell. Yes, Lewis Hamilton has stepped aside and left the Silver Arrows, and we have replaced him. And with it, we have brought a brand new livery to the Mercedes car. It is similar to their base design, but if you look closer at those turquoise lines, you know, my helmet design's a throwback to the 2017-18 days. Well, this design's a throwback to those electric pulsing lines that Mercedes used to have with their old school full Silver Arrow livery. Mercedes here in our alternative Formula 1 career universe hasn't really had much success at all so far in the first two seasons. They came 5th in the Constructors' Championship, so actually, out of all the teams I could even pick for this new season, they're actually the worst team out of all my choices. So this is the biggest challenge we had available to us for Season 3, and I'm certainly ready for it. And whilst I move teams as the reigning world champion, trying to solidify a new dynasty for myself in Formula 1, a familiar name is starting their journey in Formula 1, because Ollie Behrman gets his F1 debut. Remember, he was my F2 teammate in the F2 prologue that we did before we started our journey in Season 1 with McLaren. So really cool now that my F2 teammate is on the same grid, but you can see very much our careers have diverged. He is 74 rated joining the grid. I'm 89 rated, but I'm hoping that he can grow himself up, because it would be amazing one day to race against him again like we did at the very start of the career mode on this game. But you may be wondering, who on earth is he driving for? Well, he's alongside Logan Sargent, and he has joined the team that used to be Alpine. Going into 2026, following some difficult years with a lack of results, Alpine has been sold, and they are now High-Tech GP. Their new team principal, who used to be the High-Tech F2 team principal, now runs the F1 team division for this brand in motorsport. The takeover at Alpine has been helped by Emirates coming in as a stakeholder and a major title sponsor, and of course the backing and help of Ferrari, providing power units in return for fielding Behrman on the F1 grid. And of course, they are not the only new team getting an all-new look, as Kick Sauber has turned officially into Audi for this season. They enter Formula 1, and unlike in real life in this alternative F1 universe of ours and the very boring EA Codemasters overlords, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu are still the drivers at this team. They are the worst team on the grid, so to be fair, maybe they are just focusing on the car itself. No bother trying to splash the cash for better drivers right now. They need to get the car into a better situation first, and then maybe they can choose better options for their drivers. And maybe that's why I was not able to join them. Maybe that's why that wasn't an option. The worst team on the grid maybe just does not have the budget to facilitate a reigning world champion or a past world champion or anyone of any better caliber. On the flip side, a team that's sticking with their driver lineup but definitely doesn't have a car issue is Aston Martin, who are now powered, of course, by Honda in the new era of Formula 1. And they're the only Honda powered team, so they're the works Honda F1 team in Formula 1, and they retain Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. Alonso, of course, was in a title fight with us last season, so he has got no reason to leave this team. They gave him a real strong car, and he almost got that elusive third world championship, so he'll be hoping they can just go again now as Aston Martin Honda, and he'll be hoping there's no GP2 engine repeat as he's reunited with the Japanese PU manufacturer. As we move to now a very strikingly new look Williams, Infinity Williams, that is, as they have partnered with Infinity and throwing it back to those 2013 Red Bull days with the purple and blue powered by Renault. They're actually the only team left on the grid that has a Renault power unit, of course, with Alpine selling up shop and Ferrari powering high-tech. Renault have just become a customer engine, and they are supplying Williams, which has Alexander Albon alongside Ocon, unchanged from last season, but to be fair, this is a very strong, solid lineup for Williams to cross over into the new era. And that's the exact same vibe that Haas are bringing, as their lineup is unchanged of Oscar Piastri and Nico Hülkenberg. Another really strong lineup, of course. We displaced Piastri when we joined the grid with McLaren in Season 1. Piastri then thankfully came back onto the F1 grid on his own in Season 2, and he remains with Haas, and I'm sure by now has become actually the team leader as he surpasses Hülkenberg in his rating. Haas retain their very unique and in-your-face yellow livery, with DHL still being a main title sponsor of this American outfit. They actually did have a few little surprise races where they were popping up in places. It was generally a very tight midfield, quote-unquote, B-grid battle, you know, outside the top 5 teams in Season 2, and the same will probably be there for Season 3. And joining that fight is an old familiar brand to Formula 1. It's Toyota, who have taken over the Visa Cash App RB slot here in F1, and they retain Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo. They just straight up bought the team slot off Red Bull, including the driver contracts. At least that's what we're going to say. Obviously, thanks EA, thanks Cody's. But you know what? It makes sense with Tsunoda, Japanese driver, to spearhead the Japanese car brand coming back into Formula 1. This time, though, as their Toyota Gazoo Racing, as they are in other categories of motorsport. It's not going to be easy, though. They're joining a very competitive Formula 1 grid, and especially here in our specific career series, that, like I said, that second pack outside the top 5, very close together. Speaking of the top 5, we're now going to swing back towards those teams and start with Scuderia Ferrari, who retain Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Yes, 3 seasons in to this game has left the open goal of Hamilton's move to Ferrari off the table, basically. So it's the same lineup that has been there since Season 1, but you can see an all-new look for the red outfit as they nod their caps to their hypercar division with the yellow accents all around the car, the retro Ferrari lettering on the rear wing once again. And there's at least one positive that Hamilton's move to Ferrari has not come to fruition, because all the cards have lined up for this godly driver transfer, the only big driver transfer that had truly shocked me. Lewis Hamilton, having left Mercedes to make room for me, has gone and joined Red Bull, as Red Bull become Red Bull Ford with an all-new livery and a new driver lineup, which is going to be so tasty to see. What a weird dynamic this is going to be. Verstappen alongside Hamilton. We already knew Red Bull were set to drop Sergio Perez because they were courting us. They wanted us to replace Perez alongside Verstappen, but now you see my decision to choose Mercedes as my next team choice. That has been the domino effect that has allowed the single one good transfer this game has given us. Hamilton alongside Verstappen in the Red Bull Ford. What a lineup that is. Now, it doesn't make up for the other transfers, let me just get that straight, but it's at least something. We deserved at least one big transfer like this, and that obviously then leaves just Sergio Perez to move back to McLaren, of course. He was there in 2013, and now many, many years later, he returned to the team, now no longer in chrome and red, but orange, black and white, alongside Lando Norris, the Season 1 world champion, our old teammate, and of course now McLaren are going to be rivals of ours for the new season. As always, guys, a big shout out to all the livery mods included in this video. All links down below in the description. Special shout out to Mark Felix, who worked with me directly on 3 of these designs, specifically for this season 3. And that is how the new season is shaping up of this career mode. Let me know what you make of it in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like button if you do like the look of it and are excited for season 3 and for F1 24 career mode to be back. If you're new around here, get subscribed for that, and I'll catch you guys around. Goodbye.